This video, this is a B1 level business English lesson, and today we're going to be learning how to make and respond to suggestions and recommendations in the workplace. So one way that companies can see how satisfied employees are is by sending out an employee engagement survey. So the definition of an employee engagement survey is a set of questions sent to employees to answer about their opinions of working at a company. And here are some questions that you can participate with in the comments. Have you ever completed an employee engagement survey? And how useful do you think they are for measuring employee satisfaction and why? The definition of engagement is feeling interested in and a part of something. So Diana, HR manager, sent the following email to the HR team. So read her email and then answer the questions. You can pause the video and read this on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Subject: employee survey. Hi team. Our recent employee engagement survey shows that only 25% of the employees in our company feel engaged at work. Before Friday, I would like each of you to think about what we can do to increase employee engagement and email me a suggestion. We will discuss all of these suggestions at our meeting on Friday. Thanks, Diana. So what did the survey show? Well, only that 25% of the employees felt engaged. And what solutions do you think the HR team will suggest? And you can put your ideas in the comments. We have one vocabulary word here, potluck dinner. It's an event where each person brings one dish to share with the group. So here are two of the suggestions that Diana received. Hi Diana, I think that employees should receive more feedback from their managers. It seems like receiving feedback really motivates employees. Why don't we require managers to schedule weekly one-on-one meetings with their staff to review their performance? The second suggestion: Diana, I think the relationships between colleagues need to be stronger. It seems that when employees have strong relationships with their colleagues, they're more motivated to do their job well. I think it might be a good idea to provide the employees with more opportunities to connect with one another. Why don't we plan a monthly happy hour or maybe an office potluck dinner? That would help people get to know each other better, wouldn't it? So what does Nemanha suggest? She suggests requiring managers to schedule one-on-one meetings to review employees' performance. And why does he think this is important? Because he thinks that employees want more feedback from their managers. And what does Al-Harry think needs to improve? He thinks the relationships between the colleagues need to be stronger. And she suggests having either a happy hour or potluck dinner. And then you can answer number 5 in the comments. Do you think that these solutions are likely to be successful, and why or why not? And then here are 2 more suggestions that Diana received. Hello, I think we need to give our employees more training opportunities so that they can continue to learn and grow. How about we provide employees with more professional training programs? We could provide monthly lectures on different topics to help employees improve their soft skills and/or technical skills. I think employees would really appreciate and benefit from more training. Aisha. Hi Diana, I think we should let employees be more flexible with their schedules. Have we considered allowing employees to work from home a couple days per week? Or maybe we can be a little more flexible with the hours we expect employees to work. Maybe we could even try a 4-day work week. That has been successful at other companies, hasn't it? Aoife. So what does Aisha suggest? More training opportunities for employees. And she thinks it's important to give them more opportunities to learn and grow. Aoife thinks that employees should be allowed to have more flexible work hours or to work from home. And again, you can answer number 4 in the comments. Do you think that these solutions are likely to be successful, Why or why not? All right, now we're going to talk about question tags. So look again at some of the expressions used by the HR team, and they are examples of question tags. Tags are used here because the speaker wants the other person to agree. For affirmative or positive sentences, we form question tags with the negative form of the auxiliary verb and the appropriate pronoun. So that would help people get to know each other better, wouldn't it? So would is the auxiliary verb. Because this is a positive or affirmative sentence, we use the negative auxiliary verb, wouldn't, and the pronoun it. That has been successful at other companies, hasn't it? So here, has is the auxiliary verb. Hasn't is the negative form of that auxiliary verb, and then we use the pronoun it. Not all sentences will have affirmative auxiliary verbs. If the auxiliary verb is negative, we use the affirmative form in the question tag. So we can't use the meeting room today, can we? So here we have a negative auxiliary verb with can't. So we use the positive form can, and then the pronoun we. They don't need our help with this, do they? So again, don't is the negative auxiliary verb. So in the question tag, we use the positive form, do, and then the pronoun they. There are also sentences without an auxiliary verb at all. If the sentence doesn't have an auxiliary verb, use the appropriate form of do, does, or did as when forming regular questions. He usually comes to work on time, doesn't he? So comes is a positive or affirmative verb, and so we use the negative form doesn't plus the pronoun he. And you went to the meeting last Thursday, didn't you? So went is the affirmative verb. The negative form of did would be didn't, and then the pronoun you. All right, so now add question tags to the sentences below. Here's an example. These numbers can't be correct, can they? So you can go ahead and pause the video and try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So Mr. Vasquez can't speak German, can he? They are in Singapore at the moment, aren't they? You won't be at the meeting tomorrow, will you? Ms. Diarra sent you a message, didn't she? We need a new copy machine, don't we? She has told you the news, hasn't she? We don't have much time, do we? They are difficult to do business with, aren't they? And he said that he would respond by Friday, didn't he? And we should leave now, shouldn't we? All right, Dimitri asked for a meeting with his boss, Irina. Listen to the first part of the conversation and then answer the questions.
Hi, Irina. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me.
Of course. Anytime, Dimitri. What can I do for you?
There's something I want to talk to you about. I'm a bit bored with my role. I just feel like I'm doing the same thing after day, and I'm not challenged.
Okay, so why does Dimitri want to talk to Irina? Well, he says that he's not feeling challenged in his work. And you can put some ideas in the comments if you would like. What solutions do you think Irina will suggest? So now we're going to listen to the full conversation, and you'll determine if your ideas were correct, and then you can mark these questions true or false. Before we listen, we have a couple of vocabulary words. Committee is a group of people who are responsible for something, and to touch base is to make contact with somebody again.
Hi,
Hi,
Irina.
Irina.
Thanks for agreeing to meet with me.
Of course. Anytime, Dimitri. What can I do for you?
There's something I want to talk to you about. I'm a bit bored with my role. I just feel like I'm doing the same thing day after day, and I'm not challenged.
Thanks for letting me know how you feel. It seems like you need some more responsibility.
Yeah,
Okay. I need some time to think more about this. But I think there are a few projects that you might be able to help with. Why don't we schedule a meeting on Friday with Ivan? I know that he mentioned needing some help recently with the projects he's working on.
that would be great.
Also, it might be a good idea for you to join one of our committees. I know that the Business Development Committee is looking for more members. That would give you an opportunity to gain some skills that might be useful as you take the next steps in your career. How about setting up a call with Dave Kellen from HR to discuss some options?
That's a good idea. Thank you.
No problem. Let's touch base again early next week. I need some time to think more about this. I know I can find some ways to challenge you more.
So Irina thinks that Dmitri has too much responsibility. That's false. Dmitri thinks he doesn't have enough responsibility. Irina thinks Dmitri should talk to Ivan and Dave Kellen. That's true. Irina suggests joining in a committee. That's true. And Irina and Dmitri will talk again tomorrow. That's false. She said next week, not tomorrow. So later, Irina has a conversation with another employee, Hassan. So listen to the first part and answer the questions.
Hi, Hassan. How's it going?
All right, I guess.
It seems like you've been stressed recently.
Yeah, I do feel a bit stressed. I just have so many tasks to complete, and the deadlines are coming quickly.
Okay, so how is Hassan feeling and why? Well, he tells her that he's been feeling stressed because he has a lot of deadlines that are coming very quickly. And so what do you think that Irina will suggest? So now we're going to listen to the full conversation. You can tell if your ideas were correct, and then we'll mark the statements true or false. A couple of vocabulary words before you listen. Delegate is to give part of your work to someone else, and in the long run, it means in the future or a long time from now.
Hi, Hassan. How's it going?
All right, I guess.
It seems like you've been stressed recently.
Yeah, I do feel a bit stressed. I just have so many tasks to complete, and the deadlines are coming quickly.
I think you might be doing too much. Have you tried delegating any of your work?
Well, it's just that I feel like it's easier to do everything myself.
I can understand that feeling. But sometimes there's just too much work to do, and delegating tasks is the only way to achieve your goals.
Yeah, it just seems like training someone else to do the tasks I need to do is going to take such a long time, and I don't have any time.
I know training can take a long time, but it will be worth it in the long run. How about starting small? For example, maybe you can ask Yulia if she can create invoices for you. And Igor could put together the PowerPoint for your presentation if you provide him with the details for each slide.
That's a good idea. It's simple and it would save me some time. Thanks, Irina.
Yeah, I hope so. Then you can use your time and skills more effectively in the parts of your job that nobody else can do.
So Irina thinks Hassan delegates too much. That's false. She thinks that he doesn't delegate enough. Hassan likes delegating his tasks to others. That's false. He likes to do things himself. Hassan says training other people can take a lot of time. That's true. And Irina thinks that Yulia and Igor could help Hassan. That is true. So in the two conversations, there were a lot of observations, suggestions, and responses. So we'll look at the examples below. It seems like you have been stressed lately. That's an observation. Have you tried delegating any of your work? Suggestion. And we says that's a good idea. That's a response. So we make observations when we comment on something that we can see or notice. We often make observations before giving our opinion or making a suggestion. Making an observation helps to explain what we say next. It seems that his presentation didn't go well. It seems like she's working too hard. It looks like you need some help. Now we'll look at the two examples below, and which one do you think sounds kinder and why? It seems like you might have a problem, or you have a problem. Well, A sounds a little, it is kinder. This one seems like you're accusing the person of something. There are also different expressions that we can use to make suggestions to someone else. Why don't we schedule a meeting on Friday with Ivan? Or how about starting small? So some expressions are followed by the bare infinitive, which is the infinitive verb without the word to, and others with ing. So I think we should, why don't we, shall we, it might be a good idea to, you might want to, let's, what if you, or what if we, it would be helpful to, perhaps, or maybe we could. These would be all followed by the bare infinitive, like schedule, for example, here. And then what do you think about, how about, what about, you can consider, have you tried? These would be followed by an ing. For example, here, how about starting small? And there are different ways to respond to a suggestion. That would be great. That is a good idea. Accepting a suggestion is usually simple. Rejecting can be more difficult. Why is just saying no not always a good idea? Well, just saying no can sound a little rude, a little abrupt. So using some of the rejecting phrases will sound kinder and more open. So accepting, you can say that's a good idea. Yes, let's try that. That would be great. Yes, I like that. With rejecting, we sometimes make other observations or suggestions when we reject something. We could do that, but what if we, and then make a different suggestion? I think that might need some more thought. I wonder if there's another solution. That's a good idea, but it seems like, and then make an observation about why maybe the suggestion the person made won't work. So you're the manager of a business, and you hear some of your employees talking about how stressed they are feeling. What could you say to make them feel better? Try to use an observation, a suggestion, and question tags. So they're saying, I am so tired. I've been really busy this week. I know, I think I'm getting sick too. We just have too much to do. And so here's an example of what you might say in this situation. It seems that you are all feeling overworked at the moment. It has been a really busy week, hasn't it? Perhaps you could take the rest of the day off. It's Friday and you've already done enough. You hear some of your staff talking about their concerns for their futures at the company. What could you say to make them feel better? Try to use an observation, a suggestion, and a question tag. I don't know if I will stay at this company long. I am so bored working here. Yeah, me too. We're never going to get promotions or chances to do anything different. So in the comments, you can respond using these sentence starters. So it seems like, to make an observation, and then using a couple of question tags, and then making a suggestion. So if you'd like to add those in the comments to get some feedback and generate some conversation, that would be great. Later, you hear some other employees talking about not feeling valued. What could you say to make them feel better? Again, try to use an observation, a suggestion, and question tags. And they're saying nobody ever notices the work we do here. We are always ignored, right? We never have the chance to share our opinions or help make decisions. And here are some helping phrases to make those observations, the question tags, and suggestions. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, participate in the comments, hype the video as much as you can, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.